Hey folks, it's Echo here. I haven't done a channel update in quite a while, and I just wanted to sit down with you and share a little bit, give some thanks, let you get a peek of what happens behind the scenes, and this might be a bit of a long one, so if you follow me for a bit, I hope it'll be interesting for you to learn what drives me, what I do to make this channel come together, and kind of what the next steps are. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and settle in for my rambling channel update. And to kick things off, I need to talk through the 7 Days to Die release cycle. There's always this high that comes with the lead up and subsequent release, video views and interest in the game spikes, and then there's this fallout period where the numbers start to trend downward and ultimately drop through the floor. And that's where we are now. The shine has already begun to dull on 1.0, and the interest in both the videos and the live streams are dropping. And I gotta say, in general, the channel is doing significantly better than it was before 1.0. So this isn't me crying in the corner, just kind of realizing the trend of where things are heading. So in the past, when this happened, I've always just kind of hunkered down and shifted into regular content mode, knowing that the numbers won't be as high, but knowing we're gonna need to see kind of another spike at the next release. The challenge this time is that there likely isn't going to be a next big release. It's weird how after the most successful period with the channel, with console entering the mix and the move out of alpha and all that, to be concerned, but I still have to question what's next. I mean, there's going to be some small spikes for the roadmap drops, and otherwise it's going to be up to the modders to sustain the game, which is most likely going to kind of enter a declining mode. And again, to be clear, this is not me being doom and gloom. I'm not saying that the game is dead, but as things stand, the roadmap is thin in terms of features, and it's honestly too drawn out compared to the newer competing games that will pull, viewers and interest. So this leads me to the question of when, where, how do I get off this ship, hop onto some life rafts, find some different content. So as one of many asides, I don't have to solve this problem today or even tomorrow, but I do need to solve it. And there's lots of routes to go, but I need to figure out ones that work within my reality and within my limitations. So this all started sitting down at a coffee shop. I just honestly started typing like mad. It's the first time I've ever used a teleprompter, so this is a little bit weird for me. So I hope it doesn't come across stilted, but it's my genuine thoughts that got put down into paper. So we'll see how this comes out. See how many of you stay with me to the end. I think I've got some interesting things to say, and if you're curious on all the content creation behind the scenes, this will all be good for you. So I started to try to get my thoughts together and think through, okay, let's start off. First thing first, what are my goals? And I just started listing them out. I want to build this into a sustainable career where I can support my family and maintain some semblance of life balance. I want to build a community that is a positive force in the world, a group of diverse gamers who are welcoming and supportive of each other. I want to give back to the gaming space by providing my insight into the games that I love and enjoy, because for me, I think that's when I'm at my best, is when I'm truly enjoying what I'm playing, and y'all get to see that. We, have this joint love for this crazy gaming space that we live in. So, and I also, to that point, I want a space where I feel at home surrounded by like-minded people, that are digging in and just having fun with this. And then kind of my last one, and this is going to sound big, but I do want to change the world, and I'm not being grandiose about this. I mean, in the small ripple effect type of way, through the charity work that we do here on the channel, through the interactions we have with each other, just how we treat each other. So I truly believe that gaming has the capability of healing and bringing people together. So next I kind of started to think through, okay, well, what value do I bring? What are my skills that I bring to bear? So the first one I thought of was storytelling. After years of D&D, LARPing, I've got a degree in writing. I can tell a decent and engaging story, I think. Design and architecture, I've always had an eye for building, whether it was here in 7 Days to Die, I've done a ton of work in Minecraft and other types of survival craft or building games. So that's another area. Teaching, I've always been good at breaking down complicated concepts and feeding them back in a consumable fashion. And I've gotten a lot better over time, I think, about being more concise about this. That's definitely been a challenge of learning to develop content. Graphic design. I've got 20 years of background here, and I've got a pretty decent sense of aesthetics. I don't have as good as some of the folks that I've been working with recently, because damn, they do some good work. I mean, look at this. This is Mumphy's work here. Just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And then editing. This has been a constant learning process for me. But I put myself up there as one of the more skilled editors from a gaming YouTube perspective. I can't compete with like film or anything like that, but I think I can hold my weight here. And then community building. This one is a partial. This is one that I both think I'm decent at, but also need to learn how to grow and scale, because I suck at social media, folks. So I think I built an awesome community. I love all of you folks that hang out with me. I just need to figure out how to get that bigger. So next on my list, and again, I'm just scribbling stuff down here. What are my values? Like, what makes me tick in terms of, content creation and YouTube and whatnot? And the first one for me is just that gaming is pure magic. It, for me, has been one of the most transformative elements of my life. It's how I share my time with my friends and my family. It's the way I've met people all across the globe, listened to their stories, learned new perspectives, and we've conquered challenges together. Whether it's here in 7 Days to Die, or I spent years playing with people on Destiny and Destiny 2, Apex Legends, all kinds of other games. But anyway, it crosses boundaries and lets us set aside petty differences, and God, we all know how that exists right now with the election going on, and how the world just wants to split us up. So I think gaming bridges so many different gaps. So I think that's really critical for me. And to that end, everyone belongs. I hate othering. I don't understand why people just can't let people be themselves and respect that choice. I may not understand why you do the things you do, but I try to respect it. And I just think that judging others for race, sex, sexuality, gender, beliefs, religious, anything, I just think as a species we should be beyond that by now. So to that point in time, care for others, folks. Reach out a hand, listen, be kind, assume good intent, try not to judge. You never know what the person next to you on the bus went through. Are they frustrated because they had a hungry kid at home and they just lost their job? Or are they just a dick? Could be either, but you get to choose how you react in that situation. So in that moment, you could change their day or or the rest of their life. Just how you react in that moment. And so the other one I'm going to put up here, and I talk about this all the time, is mental health. We are all a work in progress. In conjunction with caring for others, I'm trying to learn to be a little bit more kind to myself. I'm also a massive proponent of normalizing healthcare. If you need help, there is no shame. Most of us do, and that leads me to the next topic, which is, what is stopping me? What are my limitations? The first one for me is time. This is my number one limiter. I have a family who needs me. I have a job to help support that family. And then I have this channel and this amazing community here. So that's time is just one of all of our limiters, quite honestly. So the next one is kind of multi-tiered, and it's all around mental health. And this is a constant battle for me. There are two huge factors for me that I'm working through. The first one is personal resilience. Because I can lose a day or multiple days when something impactful occurs, and I've got to recover mentally. This one comes in a number of different flavors, one of which is the next one, and that's my day job. And during COVID, something broke in me. My patience for working in the corporate world has just grown really thin, to be honest. Years of service, dedication, and still feeling like a disposable tool there, to make the fat cats fatter has just left me feeling pretty empty. Promotions just lead to more work, and ultimately, I don't realize the impact for my family or in the world, quite honestly. So sadly, that same job supports my family and often wrecks my sense of value, which leads me into the deadly cycle. See, those two items above lead me to a space where I feel like I won't escape the current work grind cycle, which degrades my mental state and ultimately takes more time and energy from the content creation, which in turn, you guessed it, amps up my fears that I can't do this, which in turn reduces my output, and boom, I've lost a day circling. So that's just how my head works sometimes, folks. And I don't think I'm alone in the content creator space. in that one. We all kind of suffer from some imposter syndrome and struggles. So this is just some of the behind the scenes stuff. Every once in a while, I like to do some, some just honest off the cuff stuff like this. I say off the cuff, I'm partially using the teleprompter, which again is brand new to me, and partially just ad-libbing as I go. It's kind of nice because it figures out the two. But so what are my options? What do I do now with the channel? If I tie all that together and I just start to think pragmatically, 7 Days to Die is going down a little bit. What are all the options for me? So I've got a few that I've thought through, but I need to think through more of this. And partially this is a sharing with y'all to see if you have feedback, and maybe one of you will steer me in the right direction. So here's one option. I can do survival crafting expansion from a broad approach, start moving out into other survival crafters and chase the trend. In the past, I've tried dipping my toes in the water for short periods to ride the wave. The challenge is if I go this route, the only way to get ahead of the wave, which I was not successful with this year. I toyed with Enshrouded, Nightingale, Palworld, but I feel that ultimately each time I was a little bit late to the game to establish myself as one of the core creators in that area. So would have to do a lot more in that. The other one is I could do probably more of when I say broad approach, I mean like just survival crafters across the board. So I would do whatever, 5-10 different games just as they come up, just to keep following the trend. The next idea is more of a survival crafting expansion from a narrow approach. And this is more, so that first one I would describe as breadth, and the second target or second concept would be more depth. And that would be to target only a few other survival crafters so I can go deep into them, understand the mechanics, get more into the tips and tricks and whatnot. And ideally ones that have a building mechanic where I can leverage my design skills, and also potentially consider something more stable with larger views, maybe even Minecraft, honestly. I've made some amazing builds there in the past. I've never showed those on the channel because those were honestly before I started doing YouTube content. And then the other one that's been in the back of my head for ages, I mean, I built a whole studio out here for this one, and that is another channel. This is always going to be in the back of my head. And one day when I'm fully here from a career perspective, I'll definitely end up making one or more other channels. But for right now, I think I need the proper space to do this, and I know I'm not there yet. The idea has always been there for me to do the cocktail channel, but I could also combine cocktails and woodworking. That's a delicate needle to thread, but not impossible. So feel free to weigh in on comments with what you would like to see me do from, outside 7 Days to Die. What other survival crafters or other games would you want to see me play? So I'm open to ideas here, folks. I just want to have the channel continue to grow and make sure that I've got an off-ramp path, where the views are, where the people are, what game are you playing next? Or will you just stick with 7 days? I don't know. Maybe I will have a forever audience here, but I feel like I'm gonna have to branch to be able to grow more. So I don't want to wrap this video on a doom and gloom and sound like, oh man, everything's horrible and everything's bad. I'm actually very hopeful. So, like I said, this is something I'll work through. This whole video was just born of me sitting at a coffee shop, waiting for my daughter and banging out my thoughts on a keyboard, and trying to get them into a semi-coherent form and hoping that somewhere in the process I'd find an answer. And I don't think I found the answer, but I found some more defined questions. So yeah, I think it was a useful exercise, and I just wanted to share it all with y'all. And so with that rambling mess behind, I do want to celebrate. This year's been incredible. This year the Fun Pimps picked me to do the 1.0 release video, and that was a huge opportunity that brought in new views and people to the channel. We just crossed the 20K subscription mark on YouTube, and I didn't even get a chance to really celebrate it because I've had a lot going on personally and on the channel. So, and then last month we hit on the Twitch side of the house, we hit partner, and this was something I honestly never thought would happen. And in fact, the live streams have been amazing, both on YouTube and Twitch. We've been holding solid numbers well beyond what, the 1.0 prior to the 1.0 release. We just released my first 7 Days to Die mod. Now, I did not do that by myself, folks. I would say I did a good chunk of the work, but I don't think I could have released that without the support of Little Red Sonja and Mumphy from a graphics perspective. So major kudos to them. And then next up, Patreon continues to grow. This at a pretty steady pace. People seem to be enjoying the base downloads and all that. A few weeks ago, I finally opened up a merch store with incredible artwork, with Mumphy, who I mentioned before, wearing my first piece of merch. It just came in today. I almost thought about doing an unboxing on screen, or on stream tonight, but I wanted to open it. I was too excited. So it's hard not to look around and be proud. 20,000, we I don't know where we are on Twitch, somewhere around 2,000 followers. But all the different aspects of the channel have been growing. So I will save all the financials and things like that for the followers updates, which I do. And just to let everyone know, I do, if you support me on any of the methods, whether it's a YouTube membership or Patreon or Twitch, I release quarterly updates on the channel that I provide all the financial data of how things are going and just kind of share a lot of the behind the scenes like this, but I haven't done a big one like this for a while. So if you made it this far, first off, thank you for indulging my rambling update here. This is we're on year 3.5 or so now of doing the YouTube, Twitch, everything, and it's been an amazing adventure, and I just have to thank you all for the incredible love and the support. And I'll also invite any of you who are starting on your journey, content creation wise, to come ask questions. You can put them in the comments below on this video, or you can come in on my Discord, and I've got a whole section there for streaming support and gear, and I just like nerding out about this whole content creation process. So I'm happy to help out as you're jumping into it. But as always, thank you for supporting me on this journey, and I hope you all stay with me as I continue to grow and adapt. That was a mouthful. All right, folks. As always, much love. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Hey folks, you're still here. I know that was a long one and a lot different than the normal videos, but I find it's important every once in a while to give you all insight into what I'm doing here on the channel. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. And just by staying here and listening to this, you've been an amazing support to the channel. Speaking of which, all these folks over here are also just amazing and kind and generous. And thank you all so much. Appreciate everyone, and I will see you on the next video. That goes out.